Hi, this is Darren from Not Another Wrangler, and today we got a special project. We are going to be installing a hood-mounted solar panel and Bluetooth controller to the hood of HydrantHawk. This is a Lenson solar panel that I purchased from HyperHero Off-Road. We have some prep work to do before we can install, so let's get started. The kit includes a 75-watt solar panel, the Bluetooth controller and user instructions, installation instructions and a convenient squeegee, zip ties for keeping your wiring neat and tidy, and a new vinyl hood decal that goes underneath the solar panel to protect the paint's finish. It's recommended to leave it out somewhere warm for a bit to allow it to relax. There's a bit of a crease that forms during shipping. That will go away on its own. The only items I needed to purchase separately was some masking tape and some 3M VHB double-sided adhesive tape, and that's what's used to hold the solar panel to the hood. So the first step is I need to remove the factory decal. So I'm going to get a heat gun and a utility knife and just start getting one of these edges off, and then I should be able to just slowly peel it off as carefully as possible. Here we go. All right, with the decal removed, it is now time to thoroughly clean the hood. We don't want to use anything with a wax, so we're going to just use basic dish soap and warm water, and we want it as clean as possible for laying down the next vinyl decal. All right, so for this next part, I am going to use the same spray bottle with soap, and I'm going to wet the hood really wet and start peeling the backing off of this decal, and I'm going to spray the bottom of this decal at the same time to keep it from sticking together. And by keeping it wet, this will allow me to maneuver the decal into position where I need it to be, and then I can use the squeegee to get all the water out.
Tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes you. Who are you to tell me how to live life? In these times it feels like nobody's right, yeah. So I'ma figure out what else we succeed, and then invest all of my time.
And there we go. The new decal is on. You can see it's a slightly different shape than the one that was on there. This one is really meant to be the shape of the solar panel. There are a couple of minor imperfections in the install that I did, but nothing major because the solar panel is going to conceal all of that anyway. This is really just to protect the paint finish. So while this sets, there is some prep work to do on the panel itself. So let's get started on that. So while waiting for the vinyl on the hood to set, which you should leave for a day or two, now's a good time to start applying the VHB tape to the underside of the solar panel. You can see I've already got it started, and I'm making sure to go as close to the edges as possible, and that will keep any water, especially in our Canadian climate, from getting underneath, because we don't want that to freeze and start expanding and crack the panel. So I will continue adding the tape. Here we go. So we got all the tape on the panel, so the next step is to place it on the hood, and what we'll start doing is getting it lined up where we know we want it, and once we're happy with where it is, I will take the masking tape to hold down the front like a hinge so I can fold it back up, peel the backing off the VHB tape, and then lay it back down without it moving, going from front to back so the corners don't lift up, and going very slowly, pushing down as I go, and let's see how it goes.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing.
So what's happening now is I've just loaded up the hood with heavy things, not overly heavy, just spread out, even weight, and that's to really press the adhesive onto the hood and give it time to really adhere. So I'm going to leave that probably for a few hours, and then we'll take it off and see what we got. So while we're waiting for the tape to bond, it's a good time to take a break and enjoy a beverage. Alright, so it's been a hot afternoon. I spent most of it in the pool, which was great. Now it's time to take that stuff off of the hood and see what we got.
I'm here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me. I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough as
It's been a few days now since I installed the solar panel. It's had lots of time to set and settle. It's sealed on there really nicely. The next step now is to install the controller, and that means we need to figure out where we're going to put it and how we're going to run the wiring. One of the great things about this panel is they are extremely generous with the wiring. You don't have to worry about being short and not having enough. The amount that comes on both the controller and the solar panel itself, you could probably go around the engine bay twice. Right now, I'm thinking that I'm going to use these tabs that hold on this liner underneath the hood. I think I can run the solar panel wire behind these tabs and then down the corner, and I'll put the controller somewhere over here. Now you want it sort of close to your battery, and they probably recommend that you attach it to the lid of your fuse box, and I very well may do that. The only reason I'm not crazy about it is if I ever have to change a fuse and take the lid off the fuse box, I have all these things now attached to the lid, and it's going to be tethered by wires and such. So I'm going to see if there's another place I can put that, but it probably will go there. So what I've elected to do instead is I removed the liner altogether, and I'm actually going to feed the wire into the hood itself, and I'll have it come out here, and then we'll run it down this corner. That's the plan. Alright, that worked, even though I did mess up a little bit when I was trying to put the liner backwards. So I've got the wire out here. I may put one of those little peel and stick zip tie looms right here just to keep that wire from flopping around, but so far so good. Now we need to find a place for that controller. Well, Murphy's Law, it was full sun outside not long ago, and no sooner do I get really going on this project But thunder is starting to roll in, and looks like rain. It's spitting right now, but looks like a storm is coming. So I'm gonna just shut it down for the day. No point in continuing if I'm just gonna get partway through a project and have to run inside. So we'll pick this up later. So I've gone ahead and mounted the solar controller on top of the fuse box, even though I said that's not really how I wanted it. Honestly, it's convenient. I like it being there, prominent. I can lift the hood and there's LEDs back here. I can see if it's operational easily. So the next thing now is we're just going to connect the positive and negative from the controller to the battery leads. So we're pretty much at the home stretch now. I've got my leads, positive and negative, all connected. I've tucked the wire down in and I've cinched it together so it's not just loose and hanging. Now all that's really left is to connect the leads from the solar panel together, and then we'll tuck those in, and if these LEDs back here light up, we know we've done a good job. And there we go, we got action. So it should be drawing power right now from the solar panel. Probably isn't getting very much because we just had a ton of rain. And the hood is up right now. But light is green, that's a good sign. All that's left now is just to take some of the wiring here, like these two wires are not used, so I'm just going to cap those off and do some nicer tucking in of some of these wires here, get some zip ties out, and just make sure everything's neat and tidy. Solar panel is in and it is working perfectly. My battery's being charged right now. But another great feature about this is if you have portable power stations, it'll charge that too. Power station just needs to have the right connections. And I have one here, and all we need to do is we can connect the solar panel directly to the power station. We'll just lower the hood to get it in the sun. Make sure you're not pinching any cables. And you should be able to see it is getting power. Alternately, I could have this plugged inside the vehicle using one of the 12-volt sockets. I actually have 3 power stations and 3 12-volt sockets. I could have them all plugged in the vehicle at the same time, drawing power off the battery while the solar panel is constantly feeding the battery. Convenient.